So for my interview, I interviewed a woman who works at the Leonard Center for Hope. Her name is Ann Pelasco. She works specifically for the Williams House Diagnostic Center for Adolescents. Adolescents go here to stay for about 2 to 4 weeks to be diagnosed and have a game plan decided for them as far as their treatment plan and what's going to be the best course of treatment for them based off the diagnosis they receive while there. So Anne's role here is to firstly be the parent contact person, because parents aren't allowed to have contact with their children while they're in the Williams house, and so being that go-between person is her main role. She also does the initial psychosocial assessments for the clients who stay at the Williams house, and runs the feedback meetings, which are between the doctors and parents, in order to discuss the treatment plan that's going to be occurring once they are released from the Williams house. So as far as her job roles, Anne describes the best part of her job as being there for kids to open up and talk about things they wouldn't normally talk about, and that the worst part is that parents want to talk to the doctor directly whenever they want to talk to them, and that's not how things work there. So she describes that as being the worst part of her job, along with being the part of her job that she deals with entitlement the most. The parents she deals with have a sense of entitlement just based on the economic background they have. They are used to being in charge, and they're used to getting what they want when they want it. So that is where she deals with entitlement the most, not necessarily with her coworkers or those around her as far as that goes. She also really talks about not having very much workplace conflict, but she also said that she picks her battles there. She does not necessarily always argue with what the doctors come up with as far as a proposed plan, and when she does, they know that she really doesn't agree with them, because she doesn't do that often, and when she does so, she's very tactful, and therefore has respect from her peers. Anne describes her self-care as staying really connected with her team that she works amongst. She said that that's very important to her to feel supported within her workplace, and that she exercises quite often, which helps her kind of just get out of her head and stop thinking about her day. And then when it came to like how she got into this line of work, I thought it was really interesting, because prior to this, she worked with international adoptions. So the countries she worked with changed their laws, which made it so that her position was no longer available. So her response to that was getting involved with the mental health field, which led her to the Linder Center. And then the last question I really talked to her about in depth was the boundaries that she keeps at her job, and which one of those boundaries are the most important to her. And she really talks about that it depends on the client you're dealing with, but specifically borderline personality clients tend to try and blur the boundaries the most, and that is where she feels it's most important to keep strong boundaries, because because people with borderline personality disorder, in her description, like to try to make you feel like you're the only person that can help them. So she said that's a very important thing for her, is to keep those boundaries.